great cause. The Rainbow Connection. We do what we can do to help out the community. And but no, I was very, very tired. And I think more of it was because the stress leading up to the event, not necessarily the push-ups, but I think it was fun. I had a lot of help. My board of directors is great. My assistant, Alexis Bryant, she's great. I don't know what I would do without them, but
yeah, for sure.
And the corporate sponsors we have, they were so great. Just seeing them on camera, because I was on camera the whole time last year, which, trying to entertain for the whole time was not that fun, but I was able to watch them on camera, and I came more of a spectator and got to enjoy it myself. So
that is good. And without the corporate sponsors, I mean, that's the foundation of the whole fundraising effort, is it not?
Yes. So it's important, obviously, the residents of the community who donate, 5, 10, 25, up to $1,000. We have some residents that donate $1,000 and don't want any recognition. So all that behind the scenes is great too. But yeah, we had 63 corporate sponsors this year, and we we would not be able to hold the telethon without them. And also Big Time Sports, they give us a great discount. And they do a great job as well. The presentation I was impressed with. That's why I kept looking down at the monitor, because I was watching what was going on instead of looking at the camera. But no, very thankful and very blessed.
So how much money were you able to raise in its entirety? I know there were published amounts, but as we know, money doesn't always come in immediately, or things get held up in the mail or whatever. So where did we get?
Well, according to right at the end, even though we had phones ringing right after the thing, we're going to count as 269,546. But then, like I was telling you before we got on, we had, 11, 12 checks show up, and there were some other additional donations that we did not count. So we're up around $2,000 more. So technically it's a more close to 272, but still not over last year, because last year was 272 and $200. So.
Right.
Yeah, we're close.
Inches away. Yes, yeah.
But all that matters is that we're able to continue our mission, and that's what we're able to do and take care of the community.
I know in the past couple of years we've been worried about the pandemic and everything. This year, I mean, you got to consider people are dealing with, frankly, high inflation, and things cost a lot more than they did just a year ago. So again, it's a great total. This community always gives with their heart.
Yeah, and the thing I wanted to get back to, and before I explain, hey, what we're going to do with this money, I wanted to get back to Yorksville, Denison area, ending the telethon. It was always ending, with First National Bank people, Lois Grandison, Bob Michaels, and people at Ember Complete Care, her brother Brenton. I just wanted it to all, get back to some normalcy.
Yeah.
And they always do a great job. And again, they closed it out for us great this year, but it was just fun, and not, having people around, because last year was just me and the board.
Yeah.
And I love my board, but we meet every month. So so it was nice to have people and to see them and their talents kind of show out on the camera. So we had Steve Van Horn, we had Chris Lane from all the Wendy's, and they're a great dynamic duo. And it was great to witness that and all the crazy things. Some guy got his tie cut. It was fun.
It does sound good, except for the push-ups. It sounds good. No,
yes, but yeah, I the money. I just want to make sure. I guess I mentioned that.
Well, yeah. So we've got $270,000. What where does that go?
Yeah. So mainly the focus is individuals in Tuscarawas County. We do get calls from outside, and unfortunately, we have to tell them we can't help them. But we go to we help. Several things. It was in 1950 the Rainbow Connection was founded, and it was kind of there to fill in the gaps for things that weren't in our community already. And then we've kind of expanded from that. So now we help with diabetes supplies, we help with cancer. We have a special fund called the Seeds of Hope that specializes with women with cancer in Tuscarawas County.
Okay.
Then we help with special needs children. That includes autism and kids that are nonverbal. We get them communication devices. We also help mothers and newborns at Union Hospital. We provide them with educational material and then also a swaddle. So a lot of people find us because they're like, what is it my kid swaddled in at the hospital? And they're like, oh, Rainbow Connection. So, yeah, we help with a lot of things, including medical bills, prescription cost, and, the list goes on. And I feel like, our board is very generous. So I'm never not going to bring a case to the board meeting and see what they say, even though we might not have done it in the past. They're like, well, we have the funds. Our community is generous. Let's help this person out. So
how would a person listening is that, well, there might be a case or something that would like to maybe apply for funds, how would they do that?
It's actually very simple because we're not, obviously we just talked about how we get our money. So we're not tied to the government at all.
Right.
So we're independent health sharing, and we're allowed to do exactly what we want. And that is a very simple process. You call us 330-343-8686 or send us a message through our website, which is happening often. And then we either email you, mail you, or you can pick up an application, fill that out. And then me and Alexis, we kind of process it, get it all together, present it to the board, and then they make a decision. And then we send you a acceptance or denial letter, which we've only sent one denial letter, and it's only because, it was brick and mortar, and we don't do that.
Okay,
so we don't have the manpower or anything to do that. So very generous board, like I said. I've been here for 15 months, and there's only been one denial. And, don't be afraid to call Rainbow Connection. Even if we don't help, we'll try to send you into the direction of someone who can, because we have a lot of other great organizations in our community. So,
Talking to Perci Garner, who is the director of the Rainbow Connection, Tuscarawas County. So, year long, then you're going through these cases. When does it start to formulate that we're going to have to fundraise and do this again?
Well, I was lucky when I got hired in as executive director, because Carmel and the board has pretty much just made this thing a well-oiled machine, and I'm just here kind of updating things and modernizing things, if you will. But it's pretty simple. I just literally, she has a procedure, and when I start doing things, it's literally all written down. I'm not saying anyone can do this. I want to give myself some credit, but Carmel and them, they set up pretty easy where, around November is when we start, gearing up for the telethon. And it came down to the last possible minute because one of our partners, we were trying to get something for our auction, and I actually had to get something Sunday morning right before to make sure the auction was full.
That's the behind the scenes that we don't know about,
exactly. But it's also great support from individuals that don't want any. We still bring it to them. We still bring them notoriety, but they're like, hey, get some auction gifts with this money, and they're already corporate sponsors on top of that. So our community is great. I can't say enough about them, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it. And that's why I came back.
It's a great thing. So just Perci, as a lot of people know, I'm sure they still ask you all the time about playing professional baseball and that sort of thing. That has helped with your public persona, I think, with the Rainbow Connection. Does it pay off in that way, you think, as far as some attention?
Yeah, and I think Carmel did such a great job.
Yeah.
When I come on, I think I get some leeway because I was a Cleveland Indian. No,
maybe a little bit.
No, but I think it's, I can bring some, people who didn't know, the younger crowd who didn't know about Rainbow Connection, because I'll shamelessly admit that I wasn't aware of the Rainbow Connection until Carmel said, hey, I think you should put your resume in and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, well, what do you do? Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in this area for 30 years and I did not know, what the Rainbow Connection was. So I was a little ashamed, but it's just, that's how it goes. And I think, there was a crowd of people that know exactly what the Rainbow Connection does. They contribute every year, and it's just kind of clockwork. Mm-hmm. But then I would say people, under 40, they're just, they're in their careers. They got their own families. They're starting on families, and a lot of stuff. Like Tiffany Fox from the YMCA always says, people care about your organization, but they have their own stuff in their life, and they're not constantly thinking about, oh, wonder what the Y's doing, wonder what Rainbow Connection's doing. You have to constantly remind them. And there's no that's not wrong. That's just the nature of the beast. So
right, that's for sure. Well, Perci, thanks a lot. Can I ask you one off-topic question?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on with baseball? Are we going to have a season here or not?
Man, I was in a players meeting back in 2017, and they said this might be happening. They were like, hey, we're going to try our best, and the bargaining is going to be happening in 2021-ish. And I was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. We'll be all right.
Right.
And then now it's really happening. Obviously, the players want to play. And I think, I think his name is Jeff Passan said it best. Yeah. And I want to come off, harsh to the owners. But he said, if you replace the 1,200 players in the MLB, the product will suffer. If you replace the 30 owners with competent business people, it might even be better off. So
I would agree.
Yeah. So I mean, it stinks that it's going on for the fans, and I want to watch baseball, sure, obviously, and we got the Guardians, changing the name. People's mad about that.
Yeah.
And now we got no baseball. So
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have the Guardians playing than the Indians not playing.
Well, there you go. Maybe this is all for us, right? Just
Yes,
so we can get over it
exactly.
and move on. All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot. Congratulations on another successful campaign with the Rainbow Connection. And you're welcome back anytime, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
This was
so
a great
much.
studio. I love it.
Yeah, thanks. That's Perci Garner, who is the director of the Tuscarawas County Rainbow Connection, here on our 8:30 High Beam on the BT Morning Show.